Today I'm just going to run you through what I do when I come down to the driving range in order to fully utilise the practice time that I have down here. I'm a 15 handicap. I've been playing for about 18 months. I started in June 2021 and probably for the first 6 to 9 months my typical routine would be to come down here, get a basket of 100 balls and smash them out there as quickly as possible. Just generally not really thinking what clubs I'm using, not really thinking where I'm hitting the ball, not really having any thoughts in my head other than how far can I hit this ball. And that's what I did for a long time. Like I say, I'm 18 months into playing golf now. I've got down to a 15 handicap, but I'm now starting to get a little bit more serious about my golf and figure out ways that I can actually improve, and utilising the time that you have down at the driving range is key. I've been reading a book by a chap called John Sherman. It's called The 4 Foundations of Golf, and he refers to these sessions where you come down and sort of blindly hit a basket full of balls without any real purpose as zombie sessions. And when I read that, it resonated quite a lot, because that's exactly how it feels really looking back at those sessions. I never came away with anything other than those 100 balls felt okay, or that felt rubbish. I didn't know why it felt rubbish, I didn't know why it felt okay, I didn't know if I'd got better or anything. There was no feedback. So that's got me to where I am today, where my practice sessions have a little bit of structure to them. Now obviously it doesn't suck all the fun out of it. Golf wants to be fun. I don't want to come down here and this feel like a chore. So to give you a flavour of what a typical range session looks like for me, I'm just going to go through exactly what it is I do down here. So the first thing that I'll do is essentially a warm-up. Now I'm in my 30s and I hope to be playing golf for a long time, and preserving your body is obviously key. So making sure that you warm up the joints and muscles that you're going to use as you're swinging the club is key. So for me, I'll do some just like squat holds, and I'll just sort of hold this for 10-20 seconds and just get used to that range of motion. General turns. A good one is to open up the body, as that's the swing path that we're going to be working on both sides. And I'll just do this for a couple of minutes until I sort of feel loose in all the places that I want to. Maybe open up that chest a little bit. And after doing some stretching, I'll probably for about 60 seconds just swing this club nice and easy. Not really obviously not got a ball. And I just want to feel myself moving through the positions of the golf swing and getting used to that and getting the body warm. So the first thing I do after warming up is, like I say, just hit 10 balls out of the 100, just at a nice and comfy pace, just to get used to hitting some golf balls and not overexert myself, not looking to cause any injuries early doors. Not thinking about too much about where these shots are going, more thinking about just warming up the body here. Once I feel that I'm nice and warm, the first thing I like to do is just go through sort of a selection of clubs in the bag and just hit a few balls with each club. So I might do this with, say, 5 clubs and 3 balls with each club. So I'd start with, say, a pitching wedge, a 9-iron, 7-iron, 5-iron and maybe a 3 hybrid. Do those 5 clubs, and I'll probably mix this up each time that I come down here and just hit 3 balls with each of those clubs and just get used to the feeling of hitting the different length clubs. So 3 balls with each club, starting with the pitching wedge. And then just moving through the bag. So like I said, that was P wedge, this is 9-iron, this is 7-iron, this is 5-iron, and this is the 3 hybrid. And the aim for me for this little drill, these sort of 25 balls I'll hit here, is just to give me a practice session with a variety of clubs in the bag. Even though it's only 25 balls, it's only a quarter of what I've got there. every time at least I've hit the different clubs, I've hit the different length clubs, I'm getting used to hitting different clubs. I don't want to get fixated on, you know, a single length club, and then when you pull a 5-iron out the bag, you're hitting it straight into the ground because you've not got used to it. So for me, it's just nice to familiarise myself with the different length clubs in the bag every time I come down here. The next section that I like to do is sort of the main practice of the session really. So for about 40 balls, give or take, I will dedicate the practice session to an aspect of my game. Now this can vary from session to session. So for example, you might have played a round of golf at the weekend and really struggled with an aspect of your game, and you might think, well, I need some proper practice at that, and that's what I tend to do with this sort of session of the practice session. The 40 balls I will use to just iron out any sort of flaws that I've got going on. Now obviously if you've seen the recent video I've done, I'm actually making a swing change. I want to start shallowing this club better and getting a better impact position and follow through. And I've done this with a company called Swing Tweaks. Like I say, if you'll have seen the video, you've seen how this worked. But essentially I've sent a clip of my swing to a pro through the app Swing Tweaks, and then I've had some feedback, and the pro has recommended that I try and fix this aspect of my swing or tweak this aspect of my swing. And to do that, he's given me some drills to do to work towards that goal. So just at the minute, this sort of 6-week period that I'm doing this for, this is where I really practice this aspect of my game. So this needs to be slow. You don't want to sort of smash through these 40 balls, or at least I don't find that works. You want to really ingrain this practice. So, you know, these 40 balls might take me 40 minutes, but this is the point of coming down here. So I'll be practicing with slow backswings and really refining the movement that I want to see in my swing in order to make that change. Now this doesn't have to be a swing change that you do here. This could be, for example, one that I've done semi-recently was I spent a lot of times in the trees. My driver was causing me issues and I spent a lot of time in the trees. Driver can be all over the place now and again, and I didn't really have a shot to get me out of the trees. You know, my punch shots were not particularly good. I could take a lower iron, but I was still getting loft on the shot, catching the branches, hitting other trees and not getting anywhere. So I spent these 40 balls really concentrating on punch shots, getting over the ball, keeping the ball low. Obviously you don't get the full distance out of the club you normally would, but say with a 7-iron, I now know that I can play a 100-yard punch shot with a 7-iron somewhat consistently. Obviously 15 handicap, my skills aren't totally amazing, but I know I've got that shot in my bag now. So if I am in the trees and I need to play a punch shot, at least I can still progress myself 100 yards up the fairway. I wouldn't have been able to do that without implementing this in my practice sessions, without really practicing that skill of punching that ball down there. Now obviously you can get drills and things for refining things like that from all kinds of places. YouTube is full of online content and things like that. But if you are struggling for drills or advice specific to you, I'd recommend that you do check out Swing Tweaks. The app is super easy to use. All you need to do is film yourself from the front on view and the side view and just give the pro a little bit of information about what you feel like you're struggling with and send that off. Within the same day, you'll get some feedback over the 2 videos that you've sent to the pro, and they'll analyze your swing and tell you what you need to do in order to improve. And not only that, they will give you drills specific to you so that you can make that improvement. So that's exactly what I've done with this session here. I'm using my Swing Tweaks tutoring to guide me on this sort of 40 session segment of my practice session. Steve, the founder of the app, has very kindly given viewers of this channel a discount on the 1 tweak, 3 tweaks and 5 tweak packages they have on the website by using the code up and down when you go through to purchase it. So it's up, letter N, down, all one word, and that will give you a discount on those packages. They've also launched gift cards just recently, so if you think this would be suitable for a friend, family member for Christmas, I'm sure it'd make a good gift too. So I'll leave details to the discount and the app and website down in the description. Please feel free to check that out and let me know what you think. This kind of tutoring is brilliant because again, it gives your practice session purpose. You're not going to come down to the driving range and have what John Sherman describes as a zombie session where you just smash balls down here aimlessly. The pro from Swing Tweaks will give you specific information in order to get you playing better golf. It gives your practice sessions purpose, which will definitely serve you well in the long run. And this really does work. I mean, you really do have to take your time. You're really trying to ingrain a change here. It's not going to be easy. You can't just swing full pace at this and expect to ingrain it. The feels are different. But when you do start to see that change and you hit a shot where you're like, I just don't hit those normally, it really is worth the reward. Because it's a bit daft really, you start to see the real flaws in your swing. I'm barely swinging at these little half swing ones and they're carrying 100 yards. Now typically on the course I would expect to see about 105 yards carry out of this club, full swing in it. And you know, the consistency is not amazing. With a better technique I'm half swinging it and almost seeing the same carry distances. So it really is worth really taking your time and getting these drills right. So once I've finished with the main body of the practice, the thing I'm really trying to change or work on, you've got to hit some driver, and yes, it'd be rude to come down to the driving range and not hit at least 10 balls with the driver. So that's typically what I do after that. Unleash some of the energy that I've brought down to the driving range and have a little bit of fun. But that said, you still need purpose. So don't just hit this driver as hard as you can and expect that to have any impact on your game, because it won't. If anything, you're going to ingrain bad habits. So typically what I'll do is I'll try and give myself an imaginary fairway when hitting the driver. So you'll be able to see from the camera behind me, we have some trees on the left here and some trees to the right a little bit further down. I'll try to keep my drives in between these two sets of trees, an imaginary fairway that I'm trying to hit every time. And what I might do is vary up the practice. I might try to start at the right and draw it back in, or start at the left and fade it back into the centre, or even just try and hit a straight drive down the centre. Now, I'll caveat everything I do with this. I'm a 15 handicapper, so I'm not going to be able to do that nearly, anywhere near all of the time. In fact, more times than not, I'm not going to do it. But I feel like varying up what it is that I'm trying to do will increase my skills with the club. And so by giving myself little challenges like that, it keeps things interesting and it keeps me learning. Be very happy with that one. So I'm going to try and keep this one down the right hand side. That's that one lost. Perfect. Left hand side this time. A little bit too far left, but you get the point. I've given the little segment of this session some purpose, and it gives me some feedback as to what I've done there. I can tell I've pulled that one left, I oversliced the one where I was trying to keep it right, and the one down the middle just felt great. And the ones that feel great are almost the hardest ones to interpret feedback from, because it's gone where you wanted, it's done what you wanted to do. So you've just got to recreate what you did there, I guess, but that's hard to know sometimes. I think improving sometimes easier feeling out the bits that you shouldn't be doing rather than confirming the bits that you should be doing. Especially with golf, it's just so difficult to get those feels. And once I've done that, just to finish off with the last 10 or 15 balls, what I'll do is I will go through my 3 wedges. I have a 50 degree, a 56 and a 60, and I'll just hit 5 shots with each to different targets within sort of 100 yards, just to work on that pitching skill. Obviously approaches into greens is massive in the game of golf, and the better you can get at this, I really do think the better you are going to score. You don't need to hit it. Obviously hitting it further is a massive help, but I think improving this skill is an even better skill to improve over your distance, because if you can start putting it close to targets within inside 100 yards, you're going to start scoring well. And so that's something that I really want to build on in my golf game. And all the shots are not going to be the same, hence I've got 3 different wedges for different aspects of different golf courses, and I will just try and practice a variety of things. So we've got a 50-yard net, we've got like 60-yard net, There's a couple of 30-yard tyres that I can aim at over here. There's a 50-yard sign, a 100-yard sign. There's a little 70-yard flag over there. There's loads of things I can try and do down here to test my skills with these wedges, rather than just smash the wedges straight down the driving range and not give me any feedback. So that's typically how I'll finish up the driving range session. So that was the 50. I'll hit a few with the 56, same sort of targets, but obviously a different club. I'll get a different trajectory and different stopping speed on this. And then finish up with a few with the 60 degree. Not like that though. That was shanked. So that's it. That's my typical sort of structure for a practice range session at the driving range. And like I say, the main thing is to give the sessions purpose so that I can get better. A few nuggets of advice that I think have sort of done me well whilst I've been down at the driving range is obviously give these sessions purpose. If you don't give them purpose, if you do what John Sherman calls zombie sessions and come down here, it's almost going to be sort of semi-wasted time. Don't get me wrong, there's some value in doing that when you're first new to golf and you're just getting used to the hand-eye coordination with everything, fine. But after I say a couple of months, they're really not going to do much for your game. If anything, you're probably just going to ingrain bad habits. Another good thing to do, we've touched on it already, is just to give yourself some challenges. Try hitting the same targets with different clubs. Try hitting different targets with the same clubs. You know, 50, 75, 100, can you do that with a 50 degree? Or can you hit the 50 target with your 50, 56, 60 pitching wedge? Can you hit 100 yards with a punch 7 iron, a punch 9 iron, a punch 5 iron? Give yourself different challenges and build that repertoire of different shots that you've got. Because golf is unpredictable and you've got to play all different kinds of shots when you're on the course. And if you're playing that shot for the first time on the course, it's probably not going to go very well. And I'm not saying you're going to become an expert on the driving range, but at least you're giving yourself that flavour of what you need to do. You know, you might remember, okay, if I need the ball a little bit further back, that just might save you a shot or two on the course. You never know. Another piece of advice I would give you is take note of what happens when you're playing golf. Highlight those things that you need to improve and work on them down the driving range. Find drills online or use a service like Swing Tweaks where you can get specific advice to improve those elements of your game so that you can get better and utilise your time down the driving range. I would say in every session it's good to work on the fundamentals, so make sure that your posture's good, your grip's good, you know, work on getting your low point in the same place every time. The basic things around your golf swing that are going to stand you in good stead over the long run, make sure you're at least working on them. You know, whether it's only 10, 20 balls, but every time you come, try and just make sure that you're working on that, those basic fundamentals, because you listen to the pros and that's what they're working on too. So as amateurs, why would we not? And this is a massive one. Not a lot of people do this. Film yourself. I've got 2 cameras set up here down the driving range. There's nobody else outside with me. It's dead easy. I've got an angle behind me where I can see the swing from behind. Let me grab a club. So I can see exactly what it is I'm doing. Am I lifting the club up too high? Am I coming in behind me too much? Am I standing up as I pull back? It could be a variety of things. And then I've got a camera at the front of me, so I can see if I'm swaying off the ball, whether I'm early releasing, whether I'm jumping, as I know I'm bad for. And you don't need 2 cameras, just do one angle at a time. Go from behind to begin with and then do some from the front. But give yourself some visual feedback that you can look back at and see the improvements, because feel in the golf swing isn't real. And seeing exactly what it is you're doing can be a massive help. And it gives you some sort of progress markers. You can look back and say, oh, 3 months ago I was doing this. Am I still doing this now? You know, if I've been working on this release pattern, is it getting any better? I can go back to my previous videos that I've recorded and sort of judge whether I'm actually making any progress or not. So I think that wraps it up, golfers. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it's been useful. If you have any tips for myself or other golfers that watch the channel, please let me know. What do you do down the driving range? Have you got any decent tips, little nuggets of information, drills that you like to do? Let me know. I'd be really interested to know what you guys do down at the driving range. Are you a zombie hitter? Do you just come down here and smash 100 balls and it's worked for you? Let me know. And like I said in the video, if you want to check out Swing Tweaks, I'll leave the details and discount code in the description box below. please check it out. It's a great app. I've been really impressed, and hopefully it's making me a better golfer. Thanks for watching, golfers. I'll see you next time.